Okay, guys, we're going to look at the independent practice, which is on page 383. I wanted to draw your attention to question number 1 because it wants you to talk about the experimental and the theoretical. So you have to use this data over here for the experimental, but you also need to know just the experimental data from knowing what you're given. So the first question says landing on a 4. So I'm going to put experimental and theoretical. So the theoretical of rolling a die, it says we have a number cube. I know that the numbers are 1 through 6. So I know there are 6 things that could happen, but there's actually only 1 4. So the theoretical is 1/6. Now it says I also need to know the experimental. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and look at the data. I have to count. There's 2, 4, 5, plus 8 is 13, 4 is 17, 1 is 18. I think that should be 20. Let me count again. So that's 6, that's 10. Oh yeah, I counted wrong. So that's 2 plus 4 is, 8 plus 2 is 10, 14, 18, 19, 20. So there are 20 total outcomes. So 20 goes on the bottom. And then I'm looking for 4. So when I did the data, I actually landed on a 4 8 times. And I know that this can simplify to 4/10. So that goes again, to 2/5. So the experimental is actually going to be 2/5. So there's my theoretical, there's my experimental. But the question says compare the experimental. Now, were these probabilities the same? No, they were not. But I know that 2/5 is 0.4. And I don't know what 1/6 is, so I'm going to divide it, and I get, well, I'm not really sure, so let me divide real quick. 0, 0, 1, 6, 4. 6 into 40 is 5, that's 35. So I know this is going to be about 0.15. So in this particular question, the experimental was greater than the theoretical. We're basically just wanting you to understand that sometimes you're asking for one, sometimes you're asking for the other, and understanding that they're not usually going to match up. So in this particular question, experimental is greater than theoretical. Thanks, and gig 'em, Aggies.